Yo, what's up guys? It's Talon. Today I want to show you guys what a high elo legend queue game can look like and what we can make legendary ranked look like if we consistently play it. So on my stream yesterday, I had a lot of high elo players queuing up at the same time that I was queuing up in legendary ranked. We were all queuing up and we had a lot of high elo games. So in this game, if we look at the peak ranks of the players in our game, we have 4 sovereigns, we have 5 challengers and 1 grandmaster for the peak ranks of everyone in this game. If we look at the current ranks, we have 3 sovereigns, 4 challengers, and 5 challengers and 3 grandmasters. So either way, pretty much everyone in this game has been challenger or higher at some point, and 7 of them are at least challenger right now. Of course, I'm sovereign in this game. My Senna is rank 1 Senna, who's currently challenger, and then both of the enemy bot lane are sovereign. The enemy ADC is autofill. He's a jungle man, but he's still a very good player. And the enemy support is Senna. If you guys don't know Senna, someone I duo with a lot. So a lot of really good players in this game. And so we're just going to talk about what a high elo game looks like. We're going to talk through this game, show you guys kind of the gameplay and everything like that. And if you guys remember my YouTube video I made about my highest ranked game that I had in all of ranked for the entire season, I played 1,000 games, probably 300 or 400 games playing in Sovereign alone. And the highest game that I had for that entire season, there was 1 other Sovereign, and like, what was it, 4 or 5 other challengers, and then like 3 grandmasters. So even over the course of that many games, I never got a game this high elo in all of my games played. And so here, now we'll just start talking about the gameplay again. I just wanted to let you guys know this is what legendary rank could look like. This is what we want it to look like next season. We want to be having consistently high games so that you guys, even you guys who have just, are master, grandmaster, peak, you can potentially have the opportunity to play against these types of players in a more fair solo queue environment to really show your own skill. And you can also learn a lot more, because if you guys are really if we're pushing the legendary rank mode, I can give you more high level gameplay that actually allows you to learn a lot more from the best players in Wild Rift, instead of just watching me stomp on some master players, because that's not really that valuable. Instead, I'm sure you'd want to watch me lane against 2 sovereigns, in lane or something like this. And so going again into the gameplay here, we picked Varus specifically because 1, obviously I'm a pretty good Varus, but 2, they picked Lucian Nami, and one of the best counters to Lucian Nami is Varus because of his high range, so they can't really punish you that well. So we ended up getting good poke on them early in this lane, having the lane priority, and then taking a recall for our boots plus a longsword, which is a perfect recall and really gives us some nice damage. So you're going to see here, early on in the game, top side is down a lot. Our top laner is down nearly 1,000 gold at this point. The game's not going very well on the top side of the map. But in the bot lane, we ended up having a kill go over to, I believe, our jungler. And so jungle's got a bit of a lead playing the early game Warwick, which is always a good champion, for snowballing the game and kind of getting a lot of ganks off and stuff like that. And you're just going to see people are actually going to play the matchups how they're meant to be played. The Lucian and Nami, they're going to get a lot of burst damage. They're going to poke down our Senna a lot. But we're not just going to randomly int into them just because we took a bit of damage. We're going to actually, play our range. We're going to poke them out a lot. We're just going to, the game is actually going to be played pretty well. So far, it's just been a pretty straightforward lane phase where we're mostly just poking each other out and, just kind of going back and forth. Nothing crazy happening. And again, you even saw we're rotating when our jungler is fighting at Scuttle. We're kind of paying more attention to the map. You can just see, the difference in kind of quality of the games, and that's what I want to show you guys. And so a bubble is landed, and so we're making sure to ult so that our, Senna doesn't get one shot, of course. Again, just simple things, but things that you often won't see in, these lower elo rank games. And then our Senna does overextend a bit there, gets caught out, but ends up flashing out, so not the end of the world. But you can just see, like, people are actually aware, one person gets caught, you're actually going to help them. Your teammate's on Scuttle, you actually start rotating, just actual awareness of the game. We're fighting over this lane priority right away because we know how important that lane priority always is for giving us the control to then poke the enemy or find a recall. And the reason we recall here is because our jungler has a lot of camps to farm, and we want to let him take that time to farm those camps. So we'd rather on the next wave look for a potential gank opportunity or a fight, which means we might as well take this recall now to be stronger for that potential gank, instead of staying in lane with lower health, lower mana, and then, not being there, not being able to follow up as well. So here again, now that we have full health, full mana, you can see Warwick only has 1 camp left, and so we're syncing our sort of, aggression with the fact that he might be able to be aggressive and gank us. And that's, again, one of the higher level concepts that you can, get better at and kind of sync with your jungler's camps with your recalls. So if your recalls synced with his camps, he's going to be able to gank you more frequently, because now you can see this wave's coming, and his red buff is gone, so now he's cleared everything. Obviously, in this situation, nothing happens. But that's not the point. The point is that we put ourselves in a position where if there was a gank opportunity, he'd be able to follow up and we'd be as strong as possible because of our recall. And so then Lucian overextends. We try to grab the Q onto him, but we do miss it. And now we're just going to go ward the objective. And so here, another thing that, you know, well, again, you'll see happen frequently is just immediate trading of objectives. As soon as the objective spawns, our Warwick is on the Herald side right away. Their jungler goes towards Dragon in a couple seconds here. You see just like, you know, 5 minutes and 3 seconds, and each jungler was already on one of the 2 objectives, getting them really quick. You just see we're going to be like 15 seconds by the time both of the objectives get cleared. And again, that is what happens. People are aware of these objectives. They're clearing them immediately, and you just get higher quality games. And that's really, I'm trying to push the Legend Q propaganda onto you guys, because I want to show you guys what it can be like. And just so you know, when the season does end, Legend Q doesn't open for about 2 weeks. So you'll have to grind regular ranked initially, try to get up to master as quick as you can, and then next season really be able to grind it as well with us. So again, if you queue up when I'm streaming too, I do stream, we catch out the Nami there, but I do stream, you know, around 6 p.m. Central most of the time. And if you are, you know, watching me play around that time, feel free to queue up yourself in Legend Q. We call it Legend Q, Legendary Rank, same thing. But feel free to queue up, you know, see if you match against me. Don't stream snipe, obviously. I don't encourage stream sniping, but, you know, if you want to queue up or anything like that, feel free to. And so here, our Akali makes some good plays, really good roam by Akali. Akali is the rank 1 Akali as well. Currently top 10, I think, but, you know, he's pretty much the best Akali that you could watch play. Akali, his name's Pablo WR. He's actually starting a YouTube channel soon. Is it just Pablo WR is the YouTube channel? So you could watch that if you want to learn Akali. He also has a guide on that Wild Rift Guides website that I talked to you guys about. But their Jace gets a roam off here. You can see Jace is up over 3,000 gold. This guy, he plays a lot of Jace. He's a really good Jace player. And yeah, so he is kind of dominating in the top side right now. Comes to bot lane, dominates in the bot side. And so he's really, most of their lead right now is that Jace. And when the lead is really heavily on just one person, oftentimes you're going to want to really play around focusing down that person. Basically, if we kill Jace in a fight, we're, you know, very happy. We're in a very good spot. But if Jace ends up popping off and getting a lot of damage off, the game's very hard. So because he's accelerated the game so hard, we really have to make sure we're very cognizant of his position at all times. And now you can see here another concept that is understood by most high-level players. And now is the mid game. We just lost our turret. I want to go towards the mid lane because I, as the champion with range and the dual laner, I want control of the mid lane. Then our Fiora will now go towards the bottom side of the map, simply because that turret's pretty low and because they want to be on the side lane. And then Akali will go on the other side, this side with the Scorpion, which is a bit stronger, so they can potentially get more value, because the Akali is a lot stronger than the Fiora, where the Fiora wants to go where, again, you know, she can just clear a wave and kind of scale up because there's not much else for her to do because she is so far behind. So you can just see everyone kind of understands where they need to be and why they need to be there. And then, of course, you know, by the time the dragon spawns, we're going to want to make sure Akali's starting to rotate over so that we have the fight there. And then you can see their Jace takes control of mid lane. So why does their Jace take control of mid lane as a high-level player? Well, the simple reason is because he's really strong. And when you're really strong, you oftentimes want to take control of the mid lane. So even though in our case, the dual lane wants to take control of mid, in their case, their top laner wants to take control of mid because he is so strong, he can poke us out. Look at all that damage he got onto Senna. You saw the damage he got onto me earlier as well. And now I would say the only mistake with lane positioning here is that, in my opinion, their Nami should be in the mid lane with that Jace and start following around that Jace a lot more heavily. Because if the Nami is in the mid lane, then it's essentially still 2v2 for us. The Jace can completely destroy us, and it's very hard. But you can see here, the Akali, or the Viego lands an E onto the Senna, but we end up getting that nice snipe there, getting the auto attack, killing them. And again, another thing that people will do when they control mid lane, they'll push out the mid wave really quick like you saw us do, and then use that time to rotate to another part of the map. But then how do the enemy respond to it? They try to take the mid turret because they know we left the mid lane to roam. And so again, you can just see all of those different punishments and those sort of responses to this gameplay that you just wouldn't see in a lower level rank game. And then obviously our Warwick responds by going towards mid lane so the enemy cannot push, and we end up, you know, not having that turret dead or anything like that. Akali goes towards the mid and pings the fact that she needs Rabadons as well, so we know that she wants a couple of those minions so she can get Rabadons. I want to get one of those minions so I can get my Edge of Night. And again, we're aware that the objective is spawning in 34 seconds, so I'm recalling for my item, Akali's recalling for her item. So we understand we need to recall about, you know, 30 seconds before the objective to make sure we buy all of our best items. Everything like that. So again, a lot of higher level things that you can see from these types of games. Again, nothing crazy. It's not like we're, you know, doing, you know, absurd plays or anything like that. Just basic things that, you know, again, these higher level players will understand. And then even how the enemy responds to us. They know that they just saw us recalling for our items. So they're going to punish us for recalling by getting that turret and getting control over the mid lane so that they can have a good, angle into the fight. And so then here we're going to end up just, getting some good damage overall on them. And then you're going to see, obviously, in a second, after the fight doesn't go so well, I'm going to look for an interesting, kind of more creative reposition here onto the bottom side. And I'm going to take control of the bush because the enemy are not going to expect me to have a real random flank. I believe this happens in a second here. Maybe it's in a different situation, but either way, Jace again looking for the flank, the rest of the enemy kind of on the other side, and yeah, here it is. So you see me just go into this bush and try to take control of it because I know that they're not really going to expect a Varus flank, and that's where we find the pick onto Viego, which is really clutch for us because now the enemy don't have their jungler, obviously. So that kind of creative play allows us to sort of split them up, and then my team goes and picks them off on the other side of the map as well. So pretty good fight by us. We try to go for the Q flash or the ult flash onto the Lucian. Get him 1 HP, but he doesn't quite die. Very close there, but again, you can just see again that creativity in that fight ends up getting us a really nice pick under their Viego, which makes the fight really good to start off. My team goes onto their backline because we have the Warwick and the Akali, which are really good for going onto backline. We end up winning that fight, and now we can grab the dragon here. So again, just some better fights, I would say. It just feels a lot cleaner. These games just feel better, and the problem again so far is that sometimes you'll have a random master or two in the lobbies because we're not that high yet in legendary ranked. I'm currently Guardian 3. Again, like, early on in the legendary rank, there's going to be people who are lower ranks and everything like that getting into the games because we need to wait until we kind of have, played it enough where the higher level players are in the higher ranks of Legend Queue. But either way, you still are able to get these high level games frequently if you play at a similar time as me and everything like that, which is really cool. And if you are a master player, you can even queue up and learn a lot from these games. And then here again, instantly controlling the mid wave, right? Just focusing on the mid wave right away. You see how the mid wave reached mid? Immediately, both myself and the enemy respond to it by immediately clearing it. And that's another thing. Mid lane priority is extremely important, and everybody understands that in this game. It's just, a known fact by everyone in the higher levels is that you just need to push that mid as soon as possible. You see their junglers immediately on it, their Lucian's immediately on it, and so then I'm poking the Lucian off of it a bit. He ults it because he knows he just wants to get that off so he can probably recall. I'm assuming he probably had an item or something. And so because I saw him ult the wave, I'm assuming he wants to leave. And that kind of indication to me means that we can take a little bit of control of the bush or whatever, but then Viego's trying to control the bush too. They're poking us out. And so you can just see this fight over vision control. Our Senna overextends and gets caught there because of that fight for vision control. So even the mistakes there, obviously big mistake by Senna, not very smart of her. But even the mistakes have a reason, right? Unlike some of these random things you'll see in your lower level rank games. And so again, I know I keep pointing that out, but that's just because I really want you guys to understand the potential that we have here. And so now we're going to try to shut down the enemy. We grab the ult onto the Lux, and then we end up sniping her, getting her 1 HP. Killing her, but we do end up dying to the Viego, and so then this fight ends up turning out really messy, really all over the place fight. We have our Akali on one person, we have our Fiora on another, and then I'm getting caught out. So a lot of stuff going on in that fight, but we do deny the Baron, which is obviously good. And then shout out to Fiora here for dodging the second ability, getting a bunch of damage off, even if Fiora didn't have the early game. Again, a higher level player, they still understand how to play once they're behind it. So you can see Fiora's on a killing spree now, even though Fiora was down over 3,000 gold in the early game. They just understand how to play from behind. I've, shown you guys videos on how to play from behind in the past, and these players, they all understand these concepts, and so even if they fall behind, they might still be able to be useful later on. And that's really the neat thing as well. Less trolls, more people care about their champion score in this elo as well, because of the fact that you get additional champion score from legendary rank, so people want to try harder. I ended up reaching rank 1 Jace again just because of legendary ranked, and I'm rank 3 Varus again also because of legendary ranked. So it really helps you with that champion score as well, which is really cool. So yeah, but we've been playing a lot of different champions in legendary ranked as well, having a lot of good Echo games. Echo's been a lot of fun lately, playing some Mordekaiser. I had some clutch Mord games as well, especially one, where I remember just like ulting the enemy jungler and making them not able to play the game, which is obviously very frustrating for a jungler whenever a Mordekaiser does that. We had some funny Warwick games. Warwick's still really good after the buff, or after the nerf, in my opinion, really, really good top laner still. But yeah, we'll definitely have more videos on the meta and everything like that once the durability patch comes out. Especially, I'm going to have some videos about making your champion pool and just general things you can do in the early season as well for climbing. Everything like that, because early season, again, we're going to be grinding, trying to get to master. I might try to get 2 accounts to master, potentially, so I can play more legendary ranked. We'll see if we have time for that. Who knows? But that's, that might be the goal. We grab a nice snipe there, and at this point we're in a pretty good spot. I missed my ult flash, unlucky, you know, it happens, it happens. Try to grab the snipe onto the Lucian, we don't grab him. And then now that we have the mid lane turret, we're immediately shifting our focus onto the top side to try to get another inhib, if at all possible. And so again, I just think you guys, you know, I want to push this Legend Q propaganda. I'm going to be, you know, making more videos about Legendary Ranked because I do think that it is a really good mode, and I think it's something we can take a lot of advantage of. Again, these level of games that we've had, even if some of them are unbalanced, like even this game, both of the current Grandmasters are on enemy team, and it's not purely balanced yet because of the fact that, again, not everyone has played a lot of games yet of it, and you need to play more games for, you know, the matchmaking system to understand what your actual level is, because the matchmaking is based only on legendary rank. It's not based on regular rank, and so that initial issue is definitely present. But the games that I've had have still been way higher quality on average than my sovereign rank game, and that's when in this legendary ranked I'm ranked like 300 something, and in regular ranked I'm ranked 18, and I still have lower quality games in ranked. So I, again, really want to push this really hard for you guys. I know my team's immediately on Dragon, so I'm just going to push that mid lane right away. Notice how we don't waste time. You know, there's just more efficiency in this elo. There's, you know, a wave spawns, we're on that wave. Dragon spawns, we're on the dragon. There's just a lot more, you know, quick decision making that happens when you have a lot of higher level players in your game. And that's really what I wanted to share with you guys in general, is just like what are the differences between a higher and lower level player. And then here we grab a nice little snipe there with our ultimate. Akali goes in, completely pops off. Shout out Pablo. Pablo is very cracked on Akali. And so overall, we're in a very good spot now at this point. Obviously, the game is a pretty straightforward end from here. And that's another good thing that about playing in a higher level game, guys. And I know I keep saying that a lot. And the point, you know, is that's kind of the point of the video. So that's why I'm saying that a lot. But it's easier to not throw games when you have better players on your team, because they're not really going to randomly, you know, run it down or do something stupid. They're usually going to understand how to end the game a bit better. For the most part, obviously, they'll still make mistakes. They'll still sometimes throw the game, but it's just less common. It's more frequent that, you know, again, you'll just make the right play. You'll understand what to do. And so here we're going Dustblade because the enemy are very, very squishy. So Dustblade is quite good there. We end up grabbing the snipe. I think Nami jukes us, but the Warwick gets the kill. So it's all good. I mean, even that, Nami's aware that Varus is trying to snipe her, and so starts juking while Warwick's on top of her. I mean, even those just random little things that you see. And then here again, camping to make sure it doesn't get stolen instead of just immediately flipping the objective. Another smart thing that we would do. Here we have a nice little pop-off here. We end up grabbing the snipe onto Jace and then auto-attacking the Viego, killing them both. So that was pretty smooth. And then overall, again, now we have 3 people. I want to do the Baron here because I'm Varus and I can smite very well. Varus actually does more damage in terms of smiting compared to a jungler. So I'm telling my team to do it. They're kind of scared. They're skeptical. They're like, Talon, we know you choke a lot of smites. We don't want you doing that. And honestly, it's fair because you're going to watch me miss the smite in a second. But either way, this is definitely the right call to do. But I end up choking it a bit. But we still get the dragon, you know, or the Baron. No spoilers. But yeah, Akali going off this did kind of troll me a bit. Not gonna lie, but it doesn't really matter. We end up getting it fine. So we still get the Baron and everything like that. And even that, having the confidence and understanding of my champion well enough to know that I can do that even without my jungler is, again, just another thing that you're gonna understand if you played a lot of this game, played a lot of games. You kind of know these types of things. And so now we want to use the Baron to get the Elder. Use the Elder to end the game. Normally you want to use the Elder to get the Baron and then end the game that way. But because the Elder hadn't spawned yet, we got the Baron first because we just killed a lot of them. And so then there, we're just trying to get control of space and basically poke the enemy out. This is kind of an important thing to do, especially as a poke champion like Varus, is make sure you have vision over the walls and just take control of the space early on. We get a crazy amount of poke there on the Lux. My damage is really, really high at this point in the game. And so we just try to see if we can find any potential kill. Akali flashes onto Viego. Viego ends up getting caught and dying. Shout out Pablo on the Akali again. There we see the Lux, which gets caught out by Fiora, and then we try to snipe the Jace here. We do miss it because I suck. It's fine. And then I, hex flash into a wall like the goat that I am. But either way, the game, obviously ends from here. So again, really nice game from our team. Our team definitely was overall, better because we had more of the higher elo players, like I said, and that is the initial issue that will be fixed with time as we just play this mode more. But still, you can just see the higher level gameplay, just the more that, the better decision making from everyone in the game. Again, 4 sovereign peaks, 5 challenger peaks and 1 grandmaster peak in the same lobby. So really high elo game. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next video.